The cafe was unusually warm that afternoon, filled with the soft hum of conversations and the smell of fresh coffee. Oliver Grant had chosen the corner booth for a reason. He wanted to disappear for a few hours. Being a billionaire wasn't the glamorous life people imagined. Endless meetings, investors, black tie events, board decisions, it all blurred together. Today he wore a plain hoodie, jeans, and a baseball cap, hoping no one would recognize him. He just wanted quiet, a plate of fries, and a few moments where he didn't have to be anybody important. At the next table sat a young woman and her daughter, maybe 5 or 6 years old. The woman looked tired in a way that went deeper than physical exhaustion. Her clothes were clean but worn, her purse frayed at the edges, and she kept counting coins over and over with a worried crease between her brows. Her daughter, a tiny thing with big curious eyes, stared at Oliver's fries with the innocent hunger of a child who didn't know what budgeting meant. "Mommy, can we get fries too?" the girl whispered. The mother swallowed hard, forcing a smile. "Not today, sweetheart, we'll have something at home." The child nodded, though her eyes drifted back to the golden fries on Oliver's plate. Oliver pretended not to notice, but something inside him tightened. He'd grown up poor, far poorer than anyone would believe if they saw him now. He remembered the taste of wanting something small, something simple, and his mother quietly saying no because rent was due. A soft voice broke through his thoughts. "Excuse me, sir," the mother said, her tone hesitant, polite, almost embarrassed. "Can we share your fries?" Oliver looked up, surprised. She stood with her daughter beside her, hands clasped nervously. She wasn't begging, and she wasn't being rude, she was simply choosing humility over letting her child feel disappointed. He blinked, taken off guard by the sincerity of it. Most people approached him wanting investments, jobs, opportunities, something big. No one had ever asked him for something as small and human as sharing fries. "Of course," he said gently. He pushed the plate toward them. "Please, sit." The little girl's face lit up as if he'd given her the world. She took a single fry first, nibbling carefully, while her mother only took one after the girl insisted. Oliver watched them, a strange warmth blooming in his chest. "You didn't have to do that," the mother said softly. "I'm really sorry, it's just been a hard week." "It's okay," Oliver said. "I don't mind." Her smile was small but grateful. "I'm Mia," she said. "And this is Lily." "I'm Oliver," he replied simply, leaving out the last name that would have changed everything. Lily swung her feet under the table, finally relaxed now that she had something to eat. "Thank you, Mr. Oliver," she chirped. Oliver smiled. "You're welcome." Mia watched her daughter with a tenderness that struck him. She wasn't careless or irresponsible, she was doing everything she could with what little she had. He could see it in the way she straightened Lily's hair, the way she counted every coin twice, the way she said no with a soft voice instead of frustration. A waiter passed by, and Oliver noticed Mia subtly pull Lily closer, as if afraid they'd be asked to move. He realized she wasn't used to kindness. "You two haven't ordered anything," Oliver said lightly. "Please, let me get you something." Mia quickly shook her head. No, thank you, but we're fine. You've already helped enough." Oliver paused. He admired her pride, but he also sensed the hidden panic under her words. "Then let's call it a favor," he said. "Someday, when I need help, you can return it." Mia laughed softly, a tired, disbelieving sound. "I don't think I'll ever have anything you might need." Oliver looked at her, really looked. "You never know," he said. And for the first time that day, he didn't feel like hiding anymore. Mia didn't expect to see Oliver again, but the next afternoon, when she picked Lily up from preschool, she found him standing outside the same cafe, sipping coffee as if he had nowhere else to be. He waved when he saw them, looking almost relieved. Lily ran to him with the excitement only children could express openly. "Mr. Oliver, are you eating fries again?" He laughed, bending down to her height. "Not this time, I'm trying to be healthy today." Lily giggled, grabbing his hand naturally, as if they had been friends for years. Mia approached more slowly, confused but oddly comforted by his presence. She would never admit it aloud, but something about him felt safe, an instinct she couldn't explain. "You're here again?" she asked teasingly. He shrugged. "Maybe I was hoping for some company." Mia felt a warmth spread across her face, but she kept her tone casual. "Well, we're just passing by. Lily has homework, and I have a shift later." "Where do you work?" he asked. She hesitated. The truth embarrassed her, even though she knew it shouldn't. at the laundry shop down the street, and sometimes at the diner near the station when they need an extra server. 2 jobs, and still she struggled. Oliver's jaw tightened slightly, but he didn't comment. "Can I walk you home?" he offered. Mia blinked, surprised by the simplicity of the request. Most men she'd known either pitied her or avoided her once they learned she was a single mother. But Oliver didn't. He just looked interested. "I don't want to bother you," she said. "You're not," he replied softly. So she nodded, and the 3 of them walked together. Lily skipped ahead, singing to herself, while Oliver and Mia followed behind at a slower pace. "Your daughter's incredible," he said. "She's my whole world," Mia whispered. "Everything I do is for her." Oliver glanced at her, admiring the quiet strength in her voice. She had no idea how rare that kind of devotion was in the world he lived in. When they reached Mia's small apartment building, old, cracked walls, rusting railings, she stiffened, suddenly self-conscious. Oliver didn't judge, he simply took in the surroundings with a thoughtful expression. "Thank you for the walk," she said. "Anytime," he replied. Before she could step inside, he added, "Are you free tomorrow? Maybe we could get lunch. All 3 of us." Mia hesitated. It wasn't a date, it couldn't be. Men didn't date women like her. But Lily's hopeful eyes pushed her past her doubts. "Okay," she said. Oliver smiled, a genuine, warm smile that softened his entire face. The next day, he arrived early, sitting on the steps of her building as if it were the most normal thing in the world. Lily ran into his arms as if she'd known him forever, and Mia watched them with growing curiosity. At the cafe, Oliver insisted they get a full meal this time. Mia tried to protest, but he gently overruled her with the same calm kindness as before. Lily ate happily, talking non-stop about school, her drawings, and how she wanted to be a superhero doctor someday. Oliver listened intently, asking questions that made her feel important. But something changed when Mia excused herself to take a call from her boss. Lily leaned closer to Oliver, lowering her voice as if sharing a secret. "Mommy cried last night," she whispered. Oliver's heart tightened. Why did she cry? "Because our rent is going up again. And she said she doesn't know how we're going to stay." He swallowed. "Does she know you heard that?" Lily shook her head. "She thinks I was sleeping." When Mia returned, smiling to hide her stress, Oliver watched her differently. The weight she carried was far heavier than she let anyone see. After lunch, when they walked back toward her building, he spoke gently. "Mia, if you ever need help, you can tell me." She stiffened, her pride lifting its shield once more. "I don't want charity." "It's not charity," he said. "It's friendship." She looked away. "I don't want to be a burden." "You're not. Neither of you are." Lily slipped her small hand into both of theirs, bridging the silence. For a brief moment, they walked like a family, 3 people who needed something they didn't yet understand. Oliver knew that in his world, money solved problems. But this time, it wasn't just about money. It was about people who deserved better, Mia with her quiet bravery, and Lily with her pure hope. And as he glanced at their intertwined hands, he realized something unexpected. He wasn't helping them, they were saving him, too. Oliver didn't sleep much that night. He lay awake thinking about Mia and Lily, about the way Mia tried to hide her struggles behind a tired smile and how Lily carried worries a child should never have to understand. He had more money than he could spend in 10 lifetimes, yet he couldn't stop replaying the moment Lily whispered, "Mommy cried." It hit him harder than any business failure ever had. The next morning, he found himself walking toward Mia's neighborhood again, though he didn't quite know what he planned to say or do. Maybe he just needed to see them. When he reached her building, he found Mia already dressed for work, locking the door as Lily tugged at her jacket sleeve. Their eyes widened with surprise when they saw him. "Oliver, what are you doing here?" Mia asked. "I thought I'd walk you 2 to school and work," he said casually, though his heart raced with more vulnerability than he'd ever shown to anyone. Mia blinked, flustered but not displeased. "You really don't have to do that." "I know," he replied. "I want to." She didn't argue after that. Together they walked toward Lily's school, the morning sun soft on their faces. Lily held Oliver's hand the whole way, humming a little tune as if her world had suddenly become a brighter place. When she reached the school gate, she hugged him tightly before running off. Mia watched the exchange quietly, something tender flickering behind her eyes. As they walked away, she spoke in a low voice. "You're being very kind. I'm not used to this. You make it sound like kindness is something you don't deserve." It's just not something I expect, she admitted. People usually drift away when they realize how complicated my life is. Oliver slowed his pace so he could look at her properly. Maybe you're used to the wrong kind of people. Mia didn't know how to respond, so she simply looked ahead, hiding the faint blush on her cheeks. When they reached the laundry shop where she worked, Oliver saw the long hours listed on the sign. Mia was juggling this along with evening shifts at the diner. She waved him off politely, telling him she'd see him around, but Oliver didn't leave. Not really. He stood outside for a long minute, watching her small figure disappear behind a row of washing machines. He wanted to help, but he needed to understand how without insulting her pride. That afternoon, when Mia stepped out for her short break, she found Oliver waiting again, this time holding 2 sandwiches and a warm drink. She froze. You came back, you didn't eat breakfast, he said simply. And I know you won't eat if no one reminds you. Her eyes softened, and this time she didn't argue. They sat on the curb, sharing lunch in comfortable silence. It was strange how easy this felt, how natural. But the peace didn't last. A man in a black suit approached them. Mia stiffened immediately. The man glanced at Oliver, clearly recognizing him, and bowed slightly. Mr. Grant, your assistant has been trying to reach you. There's an urgent board matter. Mia's eyes widened. Grant, as in, Grant Industries. Oliver closed his eyes for a fraction of a second. He had hoped to delay this moment, but the truth had arrived sooner than he planned. The man continued, your driver is waiting, sir. Sir. Mia felt as if the world tilted beneath her. Oliver Grant, billionaire, CEO, the most unreachable man in the city, had been sitting with her on the sidewalk, buying her lunch, walking her daughter to school. She stood up abruptly. You lied. I didn't, Oliver said quickly. I never said who I was. You let me think you were just some regular guy. I wanted to know you without all of this. He gestured vaguely at the suit, the formality, the hierarchy she suddenly felt trapped under. I didn't want you to treat me differently. Mia backed away, hurt flashing across her face. But now everything is different. Oliver took a step forward. It doesn't have to be. She shook her head, swallowing hard. People like you don't belong in the world I live in. And people like me, we don't get to stand beside billionaires. He felt the words like a physical blow. Mia, I care about you. About Lily. That has nothing to do with money. But Mia hugged herself, feeling suddenly small. I need time, Oliver. This is too much, too fast. Before he could speak again, she turned and walked back into the laundry shop, the door closing quietly behind her. Oliver stood there, his heart sinking, realizing that for the first time in years, maybe ever, he had something to lose that money couldn't fix.